Hey guys, the Casual Movie Guy here, and it's time for another Walking Dead Wednesday. This is on Season 5, Episode 13, titled Forget. Okay, so we're only down to 3 episodes left in this season, and I have to say this is probably my favorite season of The Walking Dead so far. I think it is an excellent season. It doesn't have many filler episodes. Each episode is pretty quality in my eyes. And there's the few that are really slow and not that interesting, but overall, I think it is a very strong season. Really good character development, some really awesome action scenes, especially in the season premiere. But overall, I think just a really good season, and I hope that season 6 improves upon, takes things from season 5 that were good, makes those better, takes things that weren't so good from season 5, and improves upon those. But back to this episode, I thought it was a good episode. It wasn't anything spectacular, and there wasn't a whole lot going on, but there were some really cool scenes. Some of my favorite being a lot of the scenes with Sasha. I really enjoyed the scene where she freaked out at the party because it really speaks for the entire group in general. Like, they're still kind of adjusting to this new life. And, not even a week ago, they were worrying about getting shot and from other groups and walkers, and I don't know if you know the time frame, but the whole thing with the terminus and the prison and even the hospital group, that it all happened in less than a year. So that's a lot of shit to go through in a short amount of time. So they're pretty messed up at this point, and Sasha just let it all out. And that was a really cool scene. It's kind of a mirror scene from the comic books, except in the comic books it's with Michonne, which is another point I want to talk about. I think that at this point, many who read the comics and see the show can point out that Sasha is a mixture of comic book Michonne and comic book Andrea, because they are both still alive in the comic books. If you haven't read them, I suggest that you do. Amazing read, probably my favorite comic books. But yeah, I think because in the comic books, Andrea, she's like the marksman of the group, and you kind of saw that with this episode with Sasha being the one to go up in the watchtower, which is what Andrea does in the comic books. And Michonne, she's the one who has a really tough time adjusting to this new life. So you saw that with Sasha. I think she had some really great scenes in this episode. Also, some really interesting scenes with Daryl. And normally, we're always talking about, oh, Daryl had the kill of the week, and Daryl's such a badass. But he's had some really good emotional scenes in this episode. Norman Reedus did a very excellent job, I think. I really enjoyed the whole bonding with Aaron, because I think they're going to make a really good friendship. Daryl and Aaron, I think that they're going to be really good friends, develop a strong friendship, and you just got to see some really emotional scenes with the horse and the motorcycle, and we don't get to see too many emotional scenes with Daryl. We had the whole thing with Merle. That was the first time I think we ever saw Daryl cry. But we just don't get that many emotional scenes with Daryl. He doesn't really show his emotions, so when you do, it's a rare occasion, and I just think Norman Reedus did an excellent job in this episode. Also, I want to talk about one more thing, and that is, I've seen it circulating around the internet, looking at other Walking Dead videos, reading stuff. People have this sense that Rick is becoming Shane, because in the last scene he reaches for his gun to right when he sees Jesse and her husband, because he clearly wants Jesse. That's blatant. If you don't see that, you're blind, because he clearly wants her. And a lot of people are complaining about that, and they're like, oh, Rick was a badass and now he's just going after a married woman. You have to put it in perspective. For the last, I think it's 2 years at this point, he's had one goal on his mind, and that was keeping the group safe, keeping his family safe. And now that they're in a safe environment, he is less preoccupied with that. He can focus on, because he hasn't had a strong relationship with a woman since Lori died, and even then, they were having a lot of marriage problems. But back to what I was saying, a lot of people are saying that Rick's becoming Shane because of that scene that I just talked about, and it was in season 1, when Shane pointed the gun at Rick in the woods. And people are making a lot of comparisons, and how Rick, he's going after a married woman, and he's like a, take no shit, kill people kind of guy, kind of like Shane was. And I think that's a fair point, but I don't think he's to the point that Shane was. There was no going back for Shane. There was no redemption for him. He wasn't a clear-cut evil bad guy, but he was he was an antagonist. He was a danger to the group, and he would have gotten the group killed by now, in my opinion. With Rick, he does what's best for the group, and he's always going to be that guy, the leader, who does what's best for the group. And that's all I really have to say about this episode. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this episode and what you think about the season so far, maybe your predictions. But, yep, look forward to my Walking Dead reviews every single Wednesday. Also, I do the movie reviews. That's my main thing. I love those. I don't think there's really anything else to say. Oh, I forgot. If you want a grade for this episode, I'm going to give it a B+. Yeah, like I said, overall, a pretty good episode. Nothing spectacular. And if you want to hear more from me, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you like the video. I think that's all I have to say, and I'm out.